Who's the MC?
I am. Is that okay with you?
I guess. The floor is yours. Rosemary, you're good.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to 1 Million Cups, our Fairfax community. It's great seeing everybody this morning. My name is Rosemary Sabino. I'll be your MC for the first couple of minutes. If you are new to our meeting, we will have some introductory comments and then a presentation by today's speaker. And that is Sara Joy. And then we will have a question and answer period. Starting off, however, I'd like to remind everyone to download our app and check in. This is how the 1 Million Cups organization recognizes your participation and our organization in this weekly meeting of ours. Melinda, could you go back one slide, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was letting somebody in.
If you are using an iPhone and have previously downloaded the app, you may need to remove it and re-download it. That, however, is just an operational issue. Please log in and check in for today's meeting. Okay, next slide, please. Here at 1 Million Cups, we support our entrepreneurial community through this volunteer-led organization. We develop our community to help educate each other and to lift our community. Next slide, please. The mission of 1 Million Cups is to lower the barrier of access to community, to education, resources, and connection for all types of new and aspiring entrepreneurs throughout the United States. We are one of over 160 chapters supported by the Kauffman Foundation that every morning, every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. in whatever time zone that you're in, meet virtually now, in person before, in the before times, and hopefully soon again, and bring our collective capabilities, experience, knowledge, and desire to help other entrepreneurs to the community so that we can move forward. Next slide, please. Our key pillars are presentations, not pitches. We are looking to make authentic connections, not network in the way that some of you are familiar with networking in other groups. And this is run for the community, by the community. I mentioned that we're volunteer run, and all of you are volunteer participants. So thank you all for coming and helping out. Next slide, please. I want to remind everybody that we are recording this and that we are running live on Facebook. This is a safe and supportive environment for both our presenters, our organizers, and our participants. We are, in effect, co-owned by all of us. So we intend to be radically and intentionally inclusive. And that means that we can fuel our community together. Next slide, please. So as I previously mentioned, please log into the app so that we can check the box that you attended. We also reach out to our larger community through weekly emails with information on our presenters. So please make sure you're signed up for those email updates. We engage here on Zoom. Make sure that you utilize the chat to provide your contact information, who you are, what company you're representing, and how we can get in touch with you. And please make sure that you share our content through your social media platforms so that we can expand the reach of our community. Next slide, please. So we have a wonderful setup of organizers. I'm going to ask each of the organizers just take a moment and introduce themselves, starting with our fearless leader, Donnell Johns.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Donnell Johns. I have went through puberty. I don't know why my voice just did that. I am the founder and CEO of Veterans Grow Virginia.
Jen?
Good morning, everybody. I'm Jen Dalton with Brand Mirror. I do personal branding strategy for entrepreneurs and executives, and it's great to see so many familiar faces here today.
Tony?
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tony Barnett, and I'm Chief of Staff at Shirley Liu and Associates. We are a financial and wealth management firm that helps with retirement planning and wealth management. Please check out the video that I posted in the chat room and contact me if you have any questions.
Melinda?
Good morning, everyone. Melinda Segal. My company is the Sales and Marketing Connection, and I help my clients strategically with their finding their voice, getting their message out there in a very visionary way that they may not have thought of, and looking at how they can really build ROI.
John Rutenberg. Unmute, sir.
Yep. It helps. I was trying to obey. John Rutenberg, CCC Solutions. We help you manage your contacts, your prospects, and your clients. More critically, I learn every time I attend 1 Million Cups. So please open it up for Sara today. And I look forward to hearing everyone, the presentation and the comments.
Thank you. Myosha, John, and Renetta couldn't join us this morning, but I am Rosemary Savino, as I mentioned earlier. I'm CEO of Gravitate. We are a B2B collaboration and file sharing platform that helps professionals get more work done. And next slide, please. We have two terrific sponsors today. Do we have someone who can speak for John Yu, since I don't see him on the meeting?
I'll be happy to.
Go ahead.
John Yu is the proud owner of Office Evolution. It's a workspace prominently in Tyson's Corner, and he would love to talk to anyone who needs offices services, whether it's remote or in the office. It's a very handsome space, and you'd be proud to utilize it as your address.
Thank you.
Sure.
And Andy, our coffee sponsor for this month.
Hi guys, it's so lovely to meet you and to see you familiar faces and new faces. So I'm here representing two things. One is MBO Partners, my employer, and I've been there for almost 14 years. And what we do is we make it easy for large enterprise organizations to work with independent professionals. Part of the way that we do that is through our marketplace, which I encourage everyone to join. It's free, and you can check out some of the positions posted by these large professional services firms and other Fortune 500 companies. And then also I have an LLC on the side due to my entrepreneurial nature and being around folks like you, where I provide sales consulting services. So it's lovely to see you all, and I'm honored to be part of the community, and looking forward to hearing from Sara.
Thank you, Sara Condi. Okay, just some quick housekeeping. Our virtual meetings work when we all work together. So please keep your microphones on mute. If you haven't muted yourself, please do so now. When our presenter has finished, Melinda, who is our moderator today?
John Rutenberg.
Apologies. John Rutenberg will take over as moderator for our discussion. And during that time, please use either the hand wave icon in the reaction section of Zoom or your actual flesh and blood hand to put your hand up, and then John will call on you to ask your questions, make your comments, etc. Please keep your comments and questions brief so we can get in as many as possible to help Sara with her challenge question. Please remember to be kind as well as helpful. And I will now turn it over to Sara Joy.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for having me. I see some faces I recognize, so it's really great to see everyone that I've missed so dearly and a lot of new faces. So thank you for the warm welcome. I have began my journey as an entrepreneur and as a mother. So this is I have heard a very unique challenge question because I am lost for words of really how to run a successful business while in a pandemic, but most importantly, raising a young family. So I have a almost 2-year-old daughter and I'm expecting, so I'm challenged. So I'll go more into those details, but keep in mind your experience of how you were able to manage balancing the business as well as growing the family. Next slide, please. So I cut my teeth really in sales. I've been in professional business to business sales for 10 years. Done all kinds of technology from copiers to phones with Sprint. I've been in management. I've been in a sales capacity or management capacity for my entire profession. I've recruited, so I've sat at all sides of the interview table. But you can find me at vivifyyourcareer.com or also on Instagram at Vivify Career Coaching. So I did start it in January 2017. It was really a side hustle. I began the organization shortly after I had left the recruiting chair. I really enjoyed the consulting and helping and honestly sifting through a lot of these resumes. I knew really quickly what a good one looked like, what it read like, and what was necessary for the role. So it inspired me to keep honing in that skill by starting this LLC on the side. And then I was doing that simultaneously when I was being promoted into a management role. So it was definitely a side hustle. And now I'm really wanting to focus on it. So transition coaching is really where I target. So those individuals who are looking to not just update their resume, but maybe you're doing a pivot, et cetera. So it's the tangibles, those documents, or those immediate needs in order to move from one organization to the other. So executives are really my focal point. Next slide, please. So a little bit more in depth, the resume writing is definitely the main service that I sell. But I also have helped individuals with preparing for their upcoming interview, as well as offer letter negotiations, understanding how to understand their own personal leverage. That way they can ask for more or ask for whatever it is that they want. And then I do also dabble into LinkedIn very differently than what Jen does. This is more about making sure that the keywords and the context and the settings all work to your favor in finding the right connections for your next career move. Next slide. So as I mentioned, executives and upper level management are my target. I find those to be very exciting to help an individual really set up their executive level resume so that most of the time at this level, these individuals might not need the resume to get the job. They've already started networking, but they want a resume that speaks to their experience, that they feel comfortable sharing it to their HR when the time comes. It's like, hey, just send me your resume. Young professionals who are also leading their way up. It's also a fun project for me. But in any case, anyone also doing a big career change. So even in Good Morning America, today they talked about how focusing on skills on your resume instead of industry can help you in a career pivot. So then I help and identify what are those skills that you need, even if you started in a completely different industry, but that tells the correct story leading the way up of why this new opportunity makes sense for you, and then also why they should hire you. Next slide, please. So I have these two main packages, my resume package that offers about two, honestly, or more. I'm very collaborative in my approach because I can't make up the information for you, but I can edit down. So we do about 2 phone conversations. You'll get an updated resume that I primarily write or edit and reformat. And then we can have unlimited edits throughout the week. And then I can also add in your LinkedIn. Once the resume is set, it's much easier to update your LinkedIn, and it's not a copy paste necessarily, right? It's about really understanding what is the message that you want to give across. That way your LinkedIn they collaborate with each other, because as a previous recruiter, I always looked for what their LinkedIn page says, and if it made sense, and if it said the same things in a similar fashion to what says on your resume, because we want to make sure that the information we find a new source of the same information. Then my next step usually is the interview and negotiate. So now you landed an opportunity, you're going in for the interview, and then I coach you along on what those common questions are to be prepared for. Even while looking at your resume, what are those? They might ask you about this on your resume. Let's talk about how you can manage having a conversation about it. And then going into understanding what your leverage is with your background so that you can negotiate the salary adequately or whatever benefits package you want. Next slide, please. So for my own marketing, what I've done so far is, I have a sturdy, I believe, online platform of my website. I have a company LinkedIn page and an Instagram that I posted a while back. And then I've also been featured on a broadcast through Fox 5. It was a brief 5-minute segment on a Saturday morning, but I was on TV with Vivify. I've promoted and held a virtual seminar, and most of the clients that I have gained throughout my time have been through referrals. So the individuals that I help, they continue to spread the word, and I get those recommendations on LinkedIn, et cetera, that's the way that I've been able to gain more clients. What I've been missing is definitely to continuing the promoting activities, to be more consistent with it. I'm not currently part of a networking group. I wasn't a BNI in my previous roles. That's how I've met some of the individuals in this group. Shout out McLean Business Forum for BNI, but I would love to get back into something like that. I know that I also should invest in, to invest in credentials. And then this is when I go back into really my crutch is the time of day. My daughter is very active, and the only reason I'm out even able to speak to you is because my husband took her outside out of the house completely, or else it would be a ruckus. So going into the next slide is showing you my wonderful family. So that's Valentina, my firecracker. I think she takes after me. And then I'm expecting a newborn in February. So I'm battling the fatigue of growing an eyeball, simultaneously running after a toddler, who, by the way, does not nap. She just does, nap times are not a thing in my household. They're just really not, unless I'm held hostage, which means she's on my lap. So, and I'm also without a lot of family around. So I'm in National Harbor area of Maryland and Fort Washington. My husband's family's in Michigan. My family's in Puerto Rico. I have family in Florida, Atlanta. So the closest person is 10 hours away. And given the pandemic, it also really detached a lot of our help. We have a really strong church community, but that has not been available anymore. And even at my husband's work, he's a chemist for the government. He works at the Naval Research Lab. Even the daycare centers there that we were looking at, we're still on a wait list. And we've been on the wait list the 3 months before my daughter was born. And we're still on the wait list for it. He also leaves the house every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I'm left with the munchkin the whole day while he ventures off and does his own entrepreneurial things as well. And then I've been at home since my daughter has been born. So I've been self-employed in that regard. So it has been really tight, really living and surviving off one income, because that wasn't the case before. So we've really cut down a lot. I have one car. We sold my car because we couldn't keep the luxury of it. So there's a lot of things that I feel have been working against me. And for my own sanity, I really need something else to do other than change a diaper, 10 times a day. So for those individuals that, you've lived through it, not necessarily through a pandemic, but either way, parenthood is parenthood, no matter what era of it. How did you manage really be able to, as solo of a way to do it? Because again, I don't have the luxury of a lot of assistance here. What are some key marketing ploys or key areas that you would think would be smart to concentrate on that might be not necessarily low maintenance, but focus on this one thing right now to kind of keep you going until February. And then it's all hands off. After that, I have no idea. So that's my presentation. I hope that it gave you a good understanding of what I do and what my situation is. And if anything, you can see how much of a daddy's girl my baby is. I'm just here. I'm just the third wheel at this point.
Great.
thank
Well, I want to first step in and say thank you, Sarah, and start a round of applause for that beautiful and most serious presentation. Hey, everyone. I'm John Rittenberg. Most of you know me, but my info will be in chat. We're going to open up the opportunity for questions and answers, and the challenge question is displayed. So Sarah, first, a bit of advice. To every question or comment, say thank you and give the shortest answer possible. Also, you really don't have to listen that closely because we're recording it and you'll get all the chat information. So the best way to listen is by breathing slowly and taking it easy. Right. Okay.
Thank you.
And so since I'm a dad, I can confess that motherhood is much harder than fatherhood at every stage. And any dad would be a fool if he didn't answer that unless he plays both roles. But I commend you. And the rules for our audience are raise your hand, and there are many up. Feel free to add your comments to the chat files. I'll be checking the chat files, and I'm going to start with Rosemarie, to Sarah, to Phyllis, to Dan. Rosemarie, you're up.
Thank you, John. First of all, Sarah, thank you. Well, Sarah Joy, thank you so much for joining us. It's so good to see you. And thank you for sharing not just your business, but this challenge, which I think I'll just say as a society, we tend to diminish what this challenge hits on, which is the many roles that as a working woman, we expect you to play. So the first thing that I would say to you is now I am not, but I know there are a lot of working women on this call with children who have experienced the joys and angst that you are going through of how to juggle. So the first thing I'm gonna request of you is don't be hard on yourself. Understand it's difficult. You're lucky to have a good partner. And although your church may not be meeting, I'm sure you have people from your church community you can speak to and at least vent when things get really difficult. So that's the less practical. The slightly more practical is to say, work with your schedule, not against your schedule. A lot of the people you want to speak with are working 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, which is when your daughter is most active, correct? So working with people after work, which typically may be after dinner or on the weekends, is actually a benefit you can bring, because a lot of these folks who are looking to make a pivot are not going to be readily available Monday to Friday when they're supposed to be in their work environment. I would also recommend that you reach out to, I'm gonna put another person in the chat for you to reach out to, so you can follow up on this later. If you don't know Robert Brandow, I recommend that you get in touch with him. He runs an organization called Career Confidence. It's another volunteer-led organization. And one of the things they do is every Saturday morning, they actually have webinars for people in your target market. And so, whereas your challenge question doesn't really say, how do I get more people into my sales funnel? Understand that organizations like the one Robert runs work on your schedule, which may work out better for you. So Robert may know of other organizations that run on that schedule as well. So good luck, great presentation. Thank you for coming to see us. And thank you, John. I'll let you go to the next person.
You bet.
Thank you.
Sara Condi.
Hi, Sarah. I knew there was more than just your name that I liked about you. Wow. We're going to have a little chat after this, but let's just say that I understand. I have two young children. One is 4 and one is 7. And a lot of the work that I did in my career at the pinch points of just kind of coming up from middle management to director were when I was, pumping in the car on the way to work. So I understand like all the things that you need to do to make it happen, and you're not alone, and it's not easy. So I think being an independent, having worked with independents for so long, one of the main reasons that we see in our research and in my experience is that what can be hard as a full-time worker, it can be your benefit as an independent, due to some of the other comments that folks have mentioned here. This is a time where it's going to be challenging, but you're really investing in how to make things work for your family and to make a schedule that works for your family. And so you should be encouraged by that. And it's not an easy path, but you're setting it up in a way that will provide it once they get in school and other things to have that flex. 2, I'll tell you that you came to what I hear when you talk is that you seem like you're apologizing for having kids a little bit, and it's something that you need to prepare your customers for. One thing, I used to do the same thing, but with the pandemic, I've just stopped apologizing. My kids walk into meetings, people are a lot more understanding now. And so you should ride on that and just know that it's not like, boy, everyone's got it together, but Sarah's kids are running all over. Everyone's kids are running all over, This is a national time of uncertainty and pandemic. So, just know you're not alone, and it's not unprofessional to have your child walk in right now. Everybody understands that people are under constraint. I'd like to talk to you too, as somebody who I'm in your target market. So I'm interested to talk to you and learn more about how you help. And so I will do that. My last piece so that's just more of an encouragement. My one piece of tactical advice is when I went to your site, there's a broken link. You have a link to schedule. There's a broken link that goes to your Calendly or whatever scheduling tool you have to actually book a consultation. I find that a lot of times, just like I'm sure you do on LinkedIn, like you have to have someone else look at your website because you stare at it so long, like you miss little things like that. So I'm happy to do any other like QA stuff for you.
Guys, I'm going to jump in. I'm going to intercede and ask John Foster before I go to Phyllis and Dan and Larry. John, you're up next, but please, everyone who asks a question or makes a comment, make it short. I got a lot of questions hands up. So take it, John Foster, then Phyllis.
All right. Thank you, John. Sarah Joy, it was a delightful presentation, and appreciate you being here. So very quickly, I work with a complementary organization. I am good friends with Robert Brandow. I work with Career Network Ministry through McLean Bible Church, and I've been teaching LinkedIn there for 12 years. Would love to connect with you, and I think there's certainly opportunity there for the people that we work with. There are also a couple of other organizations I think that you could connect with as well, that would give you, provide you opportunity and potential clients. So would love to connect with you, and love what you're doing, because certainly it is something that's necessary out there.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Great, John. So everyone, please continue to focus on Sarah Joy's challenge question. Phyllis. Take your hands down if you've asked your question, please. Thank you.
Sarah, that was a great presentation. Thank you for being so honest about what you need from this group, because that's, as the other Sarah mentioned, sometimes we think that being professional means ignoring our personal side, but we are still people. So thank you for being so honest and open with us. So I have 3 kids. My youngest is 6, so they're a little bit older, but during the pandemic, it was just crazy because we were all at home and trying to get them on school and everything. So one thing that really worked for my husband and I is to have a schedule. So you mentioned your husband goes into the office Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. He has a schedule, and you have to think about your business as it's your job too. So you need to prioritize it. So what worked for my husband and I is just to say like, okay, well, the days that he's not going into the office, he's in charge. And so even if it's like 2 or 3 hours, it's 2 or 3 hours that's blocked off. And it meant that I could work, or I could take a nap or read a book, but it was my time. So he tried to sneak in and be like, oh, but you're just taking a nap or you're sleeping in. And I'm like, no, this is my time. You're in charge of the kids. So if I want to work, I can work. If I want to take a shower, I can take a shower. But really like schedule in your time and be very specific about what it is, and be firm on what your time is, because you need, especially since you're expecting, you need to recharge. The other thing, I noticed you have an Instagram. So one thing that you can do, as I think Rosemary touched on, you can do a lot of things that are outside regular business hours. So after your little one goes to bed, or if you happen to wake up in the middle of the night, do a social media post and really get out, because I think your career coaching could really be helpful for younger people who are just starting out in their careers. And I know younger people use social media a lot more. So I know people in my area of business, they say, oh yeah, I do a social media post and I get so much more business than doing the traditional going around shaking hands in the before times, of course. And then the last thing is, I don't know if you're familiar with DC Fempreneur. It's a local women's business group, and it's not your typical networking thing. So it's not like BNI, but it's really focused on women entrepreneurs. And Lisa Shapiro is often in on these meetings. So I'd be happy to make an introduction if you're not familiar with her already. And the other one is Rowan Tree, which is a women-focused co-working space in Herndon. Because since the pandemic, a lot of their programming has gone online. And I'd be happy to make an introduction to Rowan Tree as well. So
Great.
there are 2
Thank you.
focused on women.
Thank you, Phyllis. I'm now going to go to Dan, Larry Rudnick, Jen Dalton, and Adriana Carr.
Okay. Thanks, John. Sarah, thank you. Great presentation, and thanks for sharing about yourself and about your little ones. I may be a little different in this, in that I think you're in a very transitional time, and your priorities are going to change, and they probably are changing. And come February, they will change again. And little kids don't stay little for long. So, and I'm sure you're not, not thinking about that. But raising children is just as important as anything else right now. And knowing that your priorities are going to change, I would focus on your kids. And keep the pulse on other things. And then also, I think I belong to Cornerstone Chapel in Leesburg, and we've been meeting this entire time since the pandemic began. So it's a wonderful place, and there are lots of places like that. So you said your church wasn't meeting. There are lots of places that are. So anyway, I would love to connect and talk to you about everything.
Larry.
Thanks, John. I'm Larry Rudwick, and I empathize. Well, I don't know if empathize is the right word. Having a child at home while you're trying to work. my children are all grown, but we were fortunate we didn't have a pandemic going on, and it was a whole different world then. I was thinking, I was wanting to focus on your child situation, since you said you would like to have a place for your child to go during the day, and you're still on the waiting list. What I'm seeing, my suggestion is, and it may not be easy, granted, that perhaps if you could just find another person in your situation that has a young child that's kind of in your situation, and if they live close to you and they check out and you're comfortable with them, maybe there's a way that maybe a couple days a week you can bring your child over there, and a couple days a week they could bring their child over to your place. Since having one child is, you always have to be aware of what's going on, and I'm sure you can't work 100% thinking about work. If that were possible to do, that would be great. Granted, come February, the situation will get significantly more challenging, but that's my thought.
Thank you so much, Larry. Appreciate it.
Jen. And excuse me, before you even begin, Eddie, I see you also. So I've got Jen, Adriana, and Eddie Lloyd.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Sarah. It's been a while since I was in your shoes. Mine are now almost both of them taller than me, but I'll share a few thoughts from a business standpoint. It sounds like you've documented, or at least you have a very specific process. I'm not sure how much has been automated, but I would look at tools like Zapier to help automate the sort of more administrative tasks, whether it's sending an invoice, whether it's adding a client or Calendly invite, which triggers a new client sort of row in your CRM tool or whatever. And I can talk with you about that offline, but I think automating as much as you can would help. I love what folks have said about scheduling me time. I would block your calendar as much as possible, and even consider having client-facing meetings be shorter. I don't know how long they are. Most people schedule an hour. I would say just do 30 minutes, so you're not stressed about when is my kid going to pop in, right? Maybe 30 minutes is a smaller window where you're just getting input from the client. Maybe it's a few 30 minutes that might be helpful for your client too. And then I would schedule time for non-client facing activities when you know you'll have a break, right? When it's not sort of prime time. You may already be doing some of these things, but I'm happy to meet and chat offline and look at where you are from an automation standpoint, which could help you scale more. But I think to everyone's point, rethinking your time and calendar and throwing all the rules we normally would use out the window and sort of making it work for you will be huge.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you, Jen.
Adriana, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Everyone's stolen my thunder. So, Sarah, absolutely. Everything you just heard is great advice. I know a friend of mine is an occupational therapist. She's a single mom, and she is part of a group of like-minded professionals. They form a collective. They take care of each other's children. They meet at the same place. They swap babysitting shifts. So finding a community of women in your area who are in the same field and everyone's vaccinated, you follow protocols for being safe, would be a way to build your business network and to have some extra socialization for yourself and for your little ones when the other one comes as well. So yes to everything you just heard, especially about your schedule. I've heard a young mother who had little children and she's building a business. She calls it strategic scheduling. So knowing when the best time is to accomplish maybe your social media, which might be at night when, or maybe at night when the little one's awake and you're trying to stay awake, it might be a good time to go online and look at what's going on with social media. So everything you just heard, great ideas.
Fantastic. Eddie.
Sarah, hi, good morning. Congratulations on having a child and one on the way. The You're trying to grow a business and you have a kid, welcome to the race. Everybody's in it. The fact that you have a child is great. No, but it doesn't. No one. Look, we've all embraced it. Everybody said great things about it because we all understand, right? So now let's set about helping you grow your business, right? The time management is the thing. My suggestion to you is an app like Square Appointments, for example. Use Square to make appointments with the people who you have to meet with, and use it aggressively. As an added bonus, you can use Square to collect money for appointments if that becomes a thing. So you're getting two uses out of the same product. But it just seems to me that a lot of what you have to work with is just being able to manage the time. You've got a kid who demands a lot of yours, but it really becomes a time management thing. And so that's my 25 cents. Thank you very much.
Great comment. Melinda. You're on mute.
One of the things that I thought about with your question is a way to pivot your business. And if you pivot your business to more of an online business, so you would look for your customers, your clients in a different place because you're doing everything online, that might be a way to really make a big pivot, make a big change. And then you can do things on your own time, and all the things that everybody else is suggesting. Make your calls 25 minutes or half an hour, but maybe when you start selling how you're helping everybody, you do it in 25-minute intervals because people can only handle the information for 20 to 25 minutes and then they start thinking about other things anyway. So it may be a way that you can just transition into a more current way to do things and look at how much you can really do online versus in person. And that may take away a lot of the pressure you have of meeting with clients face to face. And then maybe there's a way you can find somebody that can come in for a couple hours a day while you're there and take care of your kids, since I'm assuming February is just around the corner, just as a thought.
So Melinda, thank you so much. I'm going to draw this to a close, but
There's one more question, John.
Okay, real quick.
Yeah, Nima.
I was just going to say, Sarah,
Thank you.
The one thing that might be helpful is always think sustainability. Can I sustain this? Is it good that I take 40 other people? Because just imagine if right now you had 40 people, you would go like, okay, I'm done. Sustainability. And so you can have all that you want, but make it sustainable, because maybe there's going to be a dip in February. Always think sustainability.
So Nima, I apologize for not seeing your hand. It kind of blended in the background a little bit, but you stole something I was going to mention, exerting executive privilege as the moderator to end this session shortly. Sarah, of course, these are personal decisions, and some of which you shared your personal side. I really think being selective in who you take on is very important over the next 24 months of your chaos, and building infrastructure over these next several months as you approach delivery, your baby's delivery, relates to Nima's and Jen's and Eddie's points, and what you select to help you manage whatever is the caseload. During this time, decide it's not 40 clients at once right now. You've got the two biggest clients in the world in front of you. Maybe it's 7 or 5 right now. That builds your reputation. I'll stop now because first I want to find Donnell to ask the very last question, and then we'll turn it back to Rosemarie to introduce our returning guest. Donnell.
Sarah, thank you for, this was probably one of my favorite questions out of all of the questions that we have, because it's so real, it's so transparent, and it has to do with what a lot of people are dealing with in their personal lives. And so thank you for being transparent with your question. And we really appreciate that. My question for you, and you probably knew that this question was coming, but my question for you is what can our 1 Million Cups community do for you?
Thank you. Thank you all for, obviously just to connect with all those that were wanting to connect back with me. I'm on LinkedIn as well, so we can connect there. All my contact information has been provided. So we can play the phone tag role of who contacts who first, but either way, I will make it my goal today to reach out to all of you and to say thank you, so that I would like to continue the conversations for all of those who would like to continue to have them with me and to schedule them out. So that would be number one, just to keep in touch with all of that. And I know that the time management key has definitely been the most struggle piece for me, obviously, because they change so fast. These little ones change so fast. And also my own brain capacity. Sometimes at 8 o'clock, it's just not there anymore. Sure. But say thank you at all. So as I mentioned, for the community to help me I will do my best to reach out today to each and every one, especially those who requested it, so that we can schedule a time that we can chat for that 20-25 minutes conversation. So thank you.
Thank you, Sarah Joy. Next slide, please. So if you cast your mind back to before the summer swelter, in May of 2021, we had a tremendous presentation from Anthony Roy about PHA Scarves Plus. Anthony is back with us today to give us a quick update. Take it away, Anthony. Give us a 2 to 3 minute update on how you're doing and how 1 Million Cups helped you.
Good morning, everybody. It's nice to see everyone again. Basically, first of all, I want to thank 1 Million Cups for giving me great ideas as I go back and forth. Today is actually day one of my new venture in PHA Scarves Plus, so this is a perfect timing for this brief. Some of the biggest things that I did from 1 Million Cups is actually I decided to rebrand my company by changing my website and actually invested into a web design marketing company to help me with my marketing for my scars and everything else. And I also decided to continue with my venture into the fraternity side. So I've started a line for the Phi Beta Sigma and going on from there. And also for my alma mater, Austin Peay State University. So what I'm doing right now with the advice of 1 Million Cups is to keep on looking at my business, see if I need to, like one of the comments was to make sure do I need to do a separate brand and everything else for my fraternity scarves and my traditional Masonic scarves. Also make sure I try to take some of the stress off of myself, because with me working and doing everything else, sometimes it's not hard. So that's the reason why I invested in that. So invested into the marketing company, excuse me. So that's mainly what has been going on for the past, since the summer, I should say. So I've been constantly moving forward. And Donnell knows that he's been probably seeing my scars and everything else around, and been sending me emails for to be a vendor also, which I will be, Donnell. I'll be a vendor soon. And I heard good words because I have a friend who does it also. So that's mainly what's going on for PHA Scars. Like I said, I'm excited because, like I said, today is day one of my grand reopening of PHA Scars Plus. I'm trying to get more social media exposure. And that's the goal right now for me and my marketing company that I'm partnering with right now.
That's awesome, Anthony. Thank you so much for coming back and letting us know not just how well you're doing, but that you got something tangible out of your time with us. And for all the presenters we've had since May 26th, 2021, including Sara Joy today, we invite you to come back a couple of months after you make your presentation and give us a little update so that the community understands how well we can help and how we can continue to help you. So thanks, Anthony. Good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Next slide, please. Next week, we have Well Done Security, and they will come and talk with us about their company, and hopefully we will give them as great recognition, advice, and support as we did for Sara and Anthony, and before them, Larry, and all the other folks that we've had come back to us. Next slide, please. So our schedule doesn't look like it was updated. We actually have presenters through the entire month of September already, and into October. As we mentioned, of course, next week, the 8th, we have Well Done Security, and keep posted on our 1millioncups.com/Fairfax for upcoming presenters as well. If you are interested in presenting, or if you know somebody who would benefit from time with us, please send them to 1millioncups.com/Fairfax. And that will be a great place for them to learn more about how to present. Next slide, please. What I would now like to do is take a moment to introduce our brand ambassadors and ask them actually to introduce themselves, starting with Dan Lender.
Thanks, Rosemary. So Dan Lender, I own Golden Rule Home Watch and Concierge. We look after vacant and unoccupied homes in Northern Virginia. Our clients are snowbirds, people that go south or west for the winter. State Department, we have many State Department clients because it's been a great time to buy a house and have a mortgage in the United States. But if you're in London or Somalia for another year, you're not around, and you want somebody to be the eyes and ears for you on the ground. And we also have a couple of the Washington Nationals as clients, and so they spend the off season not in Northern Virginia. So basically, we look after vacant homes and properties. And I always like to ask people, just imagine being away from your home for 6 months to a year and all the things that can happen. And I can tell you stories all day long. So thank you.
Thanks, Dan. John Foster.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, so I'm the ambassador for Green Fair Health and Wellness and Green Fair Organic Cafe in Herndon, Virginia. Our motto is healthy people, healthy planet. So the other thing I will note, just in the last, I think it was last week, we were written up in the Washington Post, and Daryl Green was featured in an article written by Cortland Malloy, and Green Fair was in that article.
Awesome. Thank you, John. Sara Condi.
Hi, guys. Lovely to see you all. I work for MBO Partners. We talked about it a little bit earlier. We focus on connecting independent professionals with Fortune 500 companies. We do that with a marketplace and a myriad of other things. And then I also have an LLC on the side that does sales coaching and consulting. And I just have a passion for entrepreneurs and small businesses, and excited to help in any way that I can.
Awesome, thank you. In addition, we also have Gresham Parkless, Reggie Holmes, and Lisa Shapiro. These folks typically join us, but aren't here today, unfortunately. Next slide, please. So I introduced the ambassadors, but what does being an ambassador mean? It means that you actually help us in the 1 Million Cups Fairfax community find other presenters and work with them to put their hand up and say, help me and my business with our challenge question. What we ask of a brand ambassador is to share our community through your networks. Join us weekly at our Wednesday meetings, at least once a month, which is what most of us do anyway, and that you ask a great business to present. If you'd like more information reach out to any one of us organizers, or especially John Rutenberg, and you can, somebody can put that link for the ambassador sign up into the chat so that you can follow up that way. Any questions, just reach out and let us know. Next slide, please. You know, we have had some terrific presenters. In fact, every week we have great presenters, and some of our presenters have gone on to do amazing things, which we will expect to hear is the case from all of our past presenters. But here's just a quick slide to show some of the folks that have gotten some real good traction in the DC community. Next slide, please. And now we have upcoming events. A lot of these you can find at the Central Fairfax Chamber of Commerce website, and from the Fairfax Community Economic Development Authority. Plenty of activities going on, especially next week. And I think we can put that link to the CFCC events page in the chat as well. And you can always go to the Fairfax Economic Development Authority's website to find their events, but please do save the date in October for their ICCC program. Thank you, Jen. Next slide, please. As ever, we, the organizers, would like to thank you, the participants, and the entrepreneurs for joining us today and helping your fellow business people. We recognize that entrepreneurship is a lonely journey, and we acknowledge the barriers that you might face in starting, growing, and accelerating your business. And our 1 Million Cups community is fueled not just by caffeine, but by passionate entrepreneurs who are looking to support and learn from people like all of us. On behalf of the organizing team, we invite you to join us every Wednesday morning. Let us know if you'd like to get more involved. Keep building, and many, many thanks to the organizers, to the ambassadors, the presenters, past, present, and future, you attendees, and next slide, please. And to the Kauffman Foundation, because the Kauffman Foundation works every day to support communities of entrepreneurship all over the country. So we thank them for their support of us, your 1 Million Cups community. Thanks, everybody. I think we have a couple of minutes before the top of the hour if you'd like to chat amongst yourselves.
Eddie Lloyd raised his hand, Rosemary.
I see that. Thank you, John.
Eddie, actually, forget, you know, I was actually, I think we were leaving and I was waving to say goodbye, everybody. I will see you next week. But John, listen, I appreciate when you see me, and I will always take the opportunity to say hi to everybody. So I'll see you next week. Have a good week, everybody.